Why are there couples who, after 40 years of marriage, love each other more than on their wedding day? And couples who, after a year, hate each other, unfortunately, God forbid, but they reach levels of hatred and incredible conflict, truly incredible, after a year or just a few months? What do some couples know that other couples don't? What's the secret? This class, God willing, is going to change your life. Listening to it all the way, God willing, will change your life. And I'm going to start with an amazing story. A few years ago, a student came to his teacher, his spiritual teacher, and told him that unfortunately, after about a year of being married, he feels like he doesn't love his wife. And he really came with a lot of sorrow in his heart. And the teacher, an expert in this subject, thank God, helped him. But how did he help him? And this is what I'm going to share with you today in this video, in this class. Incredible. It can really change your life, your families, and your friends. Because if you're going to share what I'm about to tell you here, God willing, it's amazing, impressive, easy, and accessible. Listen carefully. The teacher looked at him with a lot of affection, of course, and said, "I'm going to ask you a few questions. May I? Is that okay?" "Yes, yes, teacher, I'm here for you. I want you to help me, please. Ask away, freely, ask." He said, "Do you love your people?" He said he loves his people. Very well. Let's return to your original question. You told me that the love you felt for your wife on your wedding day is not the same as it is today. I said it gently. You told me you no longer love your wife. What does it mean to love your wife? Why do you think you don't love your wife? The teacher asks his student. The student says to him, "Well, I don't know. I don't feel butterflies in my stomach. No, I don't feel like it. I don't really want to be with her because, I don't know, I don't feel drawn to her. No, I don't feel like anything special." Well, very well. Now I'll go back to the question. Do you love your nation, your people? Of course. Very well. Do you feel butterflies in your stomach for your people when you think about your people? Did anyone think? He said no. Very good. Do you love your country, your homeland? Of course. Do you feel magnetically drawn to your homeland when you have lunch or when you're having breakfast? No? Very well. And so the teacher began to ask him about different kinds of idealistic love he could have, even at the family level, for his parents, for his brothers, sisters, his grandparents, people that obviously on a natural level a person loves. Very well. And in no case did the student tell him that he really felt butterflies in his stomach. That's why for that object of love, by object I mean a person or homeland or nation, that the teacher asked him about, he never felt any kind of butterflies. Then the teacher asked the student again. He said, "Well, now after these questions I asked you to get a bit of a diagnosis of your situation, let me go back to your first question. Why do you feel that you don't love your wife anymore?" So the student obviously was going to automatically respond with something similar to what he'd said at first about butterflies and being drawn to his wife, but obviously he got stuck and really didn't have much to say. He didn't have much to say? Very good. I think this story reflects the experience of many couples. They could be couples who got married recently or a long time ago. But that feeling of love with butterflies and being magnetized by your partner after being married for a short or long time, that imaginary movie you've had since you were little, when you saw the main characters in the movie with background music playing, and the breeze blows the woman's or the man's hair as they run to embrace each other and be in that idyllic moment by a lake or in a spectacular natural place where no one bothers them. There are no diapers to change, no garbage bags to take out to the neighborhood trash can, or a dirty floor or dirty dishes in the sink. Movies generally don't show you that. You'll agree with me. They show you idyllic moments, peaks of idyllic love, but not the routine, the daily life. A diaper, a dish to wash, a floor to clean, a discussion in that sense, or a conversation, let's say, A conversation where you listen to your wife or your husband telling you about something that hurt them, that upset them, something that happened at work or at their place of study. That usually doesn't appear in romantic movies, as you know. And I think that in some way, the fact of since we were very young, we had access to romantic movies or other kinds of movies in which real life is not shown. And the life that isn't real, the life that isn't real is shown. That gets under our skin, and somehow we are or can potentially be slaves to culture. Slaves not just to movies, it can be paintings or written texts, plays or novels. I mean, unfortunately, real life isn't portrayed because it might seem boring, obviously, but real life is very fun. It's magnificent. The Creator gives us a magnificent life, of course, with challenges, but those challenges are a gift from the Creator to grow, to improve, to help others. And this is what I'm going to give you now. I'll keep giving you because surely I'm sure you're smart and you've already read between the lines. Things you already need to understand. First, be free from culture, free from culture. Try to put a question mark on everything you've seen so far, everything you've heard so far. Plays, movies, novels, romances. Are we talking about romantic movies or romantic plays, romantic novels, or all kinds of things that have to do with love, a painting, that is, all kinds of things. Artistic objects or other types of influences, even in school, high school, or university. A teacher who told you things about love. Why? Because obviously with the best intentions, she or he told you what they learned when they were kids like you or me or many of us. We learn things as kids that, well, we're bombarded by culture. You can call it television, movies, like I said, theater, written works, culture in general, we're bombarded. And in a way, you have to have a critical eye and a critical mind and a critical heart to know what to let in and what to stop. You have to be on a cultural level, and by cultural level, I mean you with culture, basically your contact and your connection with culture. You have to be like a kind of sieve that really sifts the flour, and basically what is good stays and what isn't goes out. And that's how you have people with all kinds of influences, the media, social networks. Obviously today we are much more bombarded than we were a few years or decades ago. Of course, this keeps increasing, so it's very important. If you want to live a happy life and for those around you to have a happy life, you really have to know what to let in and what to leave outside the door of your house. When I say your house, I mean your heart, your mind, your emotions. And you have to know. Now, going back to the example I told you at the beginning, the teacher said to a student, I'm going to tell you a phrase and I want you to take this phrase with you. Keep it in your mind and in your heart. For a week, let's talk again. The phrase is as follows. Love is not an emotion, love is a decision. Let's go back to the phrase again. Love is not an emotion, it's a decision. Very good. And so the student had to spend a week reflecting on that phrase and trying to understand what the rabbi told him after some questions he asked. Clearly, both the student and the rabbi were very intelligent, and he knew that by giving him that phrase and the initial questions to diagnose his situation, it would help him, even if just for a week, to greatly improve his relationship with his wife. And now I turn back to you. Let's try to discern this phrase. Love is not an emotion, it's a decision. Very well, what do I mean by this? If the person thinks that love for their partner depends on how they feel, how they woke up today, whether they woke up on the right side of the bed or the wrong side, if they watched a romantic movie yesterday, let's see how that connects with their wife or husband. That obviously is going to be like a roller coaster in their life. One day they're going to be more excited. One day they're not going to feel anything. One day they're going to say, why? I'm not like the man in the movie who got butterflies thinking about his wife or like she did about her husband. Why? Because if you make your life depend on fleeting emotions, obviously it won't last. Now, what does last? The decision. The person decides to love his wife or she decides to love her husband. And it's a decision, a life decision. The word in Hebrew, clearly Hebrew, as you know, has an impressive spiritual strength. The Creator creates at every moment, created and creates the world at every moment with the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Each letter, that's something from the Kabbalah, from the secrets of the Torah. It's not our topic now, but you should know that Hebrew has an impressive strength. And now the word for love in Hebrew is ahava. Ahava means love in Hebrew. Hebrew letters each have a numerical value. Very good. The word ahava is made up of the letter aleph, which is 1. It's the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Aleph, 1. 5, 1 and 5 are 6. That's 2. 6 and 2, 8. And hey, again, 5. 8 and 5, 13. Very good. Ahava has the numerical value of 13. Very good. The word ejad is 1 in Hebrew. The Hebrew word for the number 1 is ejad. Aleph, 1. Jet, 8. 1 and 8, 9. Dalet, 4. 9 and 4, 13. Ahava adds up to 13. Ejad adds up to 13. Therefore, when we study Hebrew, it's very important. I'll tell you as an aside, if I remember, God willing, I'm going to put a link here, a link in the video description to invite you to watch information about a Hebrew Wisdom Club that we opened very recently, which is spectacular. There are live sessions, a daily live class, 5 minutes of daily Hebrew drip to change your way of thinking in a spectacular way. Incredible for thinking in a Hebrew way, in a brilliant way, refining your thinking, your heart. Spectacular. If you want, if I remember, I'll put it here in the description and I'll leave you the video. So, well, I want to continue to see all kinds of details about this club. Exclusive from Saberio Hebrew Wisdom. You can click the link and really check out all the details. It's spectacular, impressive. Very well, but now let's continue with the video. Echad and ahava add up to 13. When two words add up to the same numerical value, there's a hint about the hidden message. Therefore, ahava implies one. You and your husband or wife are one, and that's the secret of love. The secret of love, basically, I want to sum it up in 2 main components. The first component is that you decide to love your wife. You decide to love your husband. It's a decision. You identify with your husband or with your wife. There is an identification. Identification. It's not about what he gives me, what she gives me, and then I see if I love them, if I feel this or that. And I'm telling you this in parentheses. Even though love is not an emotion, it's a decision. Obviously, when you decide to love your husband or your wife, the emotion, God willing, will come, obviously. Obviously, we're not robots. Obviously, the Creator made us with emotions. But the decision leads to the emotion, not the other way around. It's not, when I love, I'll decide to love. No. You got married, or she's the woman of your life, the husband of your life, you're married, or you got married, or you're going to get married, you decided, you form a family. That is eternal. It's an eternal union. You are one. There is identification and a decision. And that emotion will come if God wills, of course. And also in the word love, giving is hidden, giving. That love is not about how much I receive to see if I love or not, to see if I feel or not. The moment you give, when you give, love is like a bonfire. When you add wood to the bonfire, and that bonfire becomes stronger and eternal, an eternal bonfire. But you have to give, not wait to receive. You receive very well and you do receive, but there's also a big secret. You receive to give the other person, your husband or your wife, the opportunity to give to you. You're not always seeking to receive. When you receive, say thank you. Thank you very much. And you also have to know deep inside that you are giving your husband or your wife the opportunity to give to you. It's a gift you give that allows them to give to you. It's impressive. Therefore, your act of receiving becomes an act of giving. It's something very profound. The fact that you receive, why do you receive? Not because you're selfish, because you want to give your husband or your wife the opportunity to give to you. Therefore, your act of receiving becomes something altruistic. I mean, it's something spectacular, receiving in order to give to the other person. Impressive. So here we see something impressive, which is the idea of first identifying yourself completely with your husband or your wife, feeling that you are one. Ehad, you are one. It's not someone external to you. You are one and you are in this endeavor together. Endeavor not as in a business. By endeavor, I mean this project together of building a family and loving each other and giving the other person the best of yourself and being there to listen, to help, and to give good advice. To be there to give and to give and to give and to give, to clean the floor, to wash the dishes, to take out the trash. That is to keep giving and to raise the children and to see that they can constantly give. Giving, as I told you, you think that love is like a bonfire, that every action you take, every kind word you say, every good thought you have, that increases that bonfire of love and God willing makes it eternal. And also another fundamental component is to see in the other person someone eternal, someone divine with a capital D. That is to say, you have a soul in front of you. You have a soul in front of you. Therefore, don't use vulgar language or treat the other person like pup, chip, pup, chi, poopy pip. No. You have a soul in front of you. Obviously, you can use affectionate words, but with a lot of respect and words that you know your spouse likes. Not words that are low or vulgar in terms of language. No. You have to give a lot of kavod, as it's said in the verb kavod. It's a lot of honor to your husband or your wife. Obviously, there's a very close bond, but that closeness shouldn't lead to taking things for granted. I call them this, I call them that, this nickname, that one. No. A lot of respect, a lot of honor, a lot of respect for the other person, and a lot of love, obviously. Closeness and also distance in English. A little distance, in a good way, out of respect, out of love, that you have a soul in front of you. A soul that the Creator placed in front of you to fulfill your mission in life and together to fulfill your mission together. It's something very, very profound. Therefore, may we have the merit to constantly know first that love is a decision and God willing the emotion will come, of course. Or if you already have it, that's spectacular. But you have to feed that emotion. How? By giving and providing and doing good, thinking well of them, constantly speaking well of the other. And to know, as I told you, that the other person, your husband or your wife, has a divine soul that obviously when you have, as it's said in Hebrew, shalom bayit, you have peace in the home. That is where, as it's said in Hebrew, the Shekhinah can truly reside, which is the divine presence of the Creator among you. It's said in Hebrew, Zahu Shekhinah B'nehem. If you refine yourselves with each other in terms of your personal qualities, you will have the merit that truly the Shekhinah, the divine presence, the presence of the Creator will be in your homes. You should think of an impressive example. If each person asserts themselves and takes up space and the other does too, unfortunately, each one takes up a lot of space and there is very little room for the Shekhinah, metaphorically speaking, for the divine presence to dwell among you. Obviously, there is little room. This is something very, very deep, but obviously the Creator is everything, is above everything and fills everything and loves you and trusts you and your wife, your husband, and that you will move forward, that you will have an amazing marriage, God willing, but you have to make space. You have to make space with humility from each person, and if each one is humble, that space. For the Shekhinah, the divine presence, to dwell, it will be much greater, and God willing, you will have a life full of shalom, of peace, of many blessings. God willing, may this happen here with many blessings. In the video description, I will put some links for you to find information about the Wisdom of Truth Club, my Israel High community. I will also leave you, God willing, the WhatsApp phone number to request information and also a link. That is, you will have several links down here, so if you want to be part of my community and have a more direct connection with me, you can ask me questions on WhatsApp. Spectacular things, God willing, may everything be filled with blessings and success.